Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be covering the absolute fastest, easiest way to get meaningful data from an MPU 6050 IMU using a Raspberry Pi. For today's purposes, I'll be using a Raspberry Pi running Ubuntu server connected to the MPU 6050 via jumper wires. Might be difficult to see in the images, but you'll connect the VCC pin on the sensor to the 3.3 volt pin on the Pi, ground to ground, serial clock pin to GPIO 3, and the SDA line to GPIO 2. Next, make sure you install the following packages to make sure you're able to run the code successfully. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and dive into the code. So we're going to start off with our imports. We're going to be using the time library so we can have a quick, simple pause. And we're going to be importing the MPU6050 class that we just imported. Next, we go ahead and create our sensor object. This line is important for any new sensor. And you're probably wondering, where does this value 68 come from? This is the sensor's I2C address, and we can find it in our datasheet or register map. So if you went ahead and just did a quick Google search, MPU6050 register map, top result, and you could scroll down. There's a couple other places in this particular PDF that you could find what you're looking for. I know from previous experience and other devices I've worked with, a Who Am I register, if it's there, it'll be the easiest way to go ahead and find what it is you're looking for. And this is just from our manufacturer telling us the base address to interface over I2C. And it says right here, default value of our register is 68. And assuming you have everything wired up and running correctly, something cool that you could do on the Pi is go ahead and run this I2C detect. If you go ahead and hit yes, you'll get this value of the register that we're trying to interface with, and 68 is of course correct as we just saw in our datasheet. So now back to the code. To get the data, we're going to go ahead and use these two functions here. This library does all of the hard work of waking up the sensor, reading the raw data, and converting it into meaningful units. The accelerometer data is going to be returned in Gs, and the gyroscope data is going to be returned in degrees per second. Finally, we just go ahead and print our data that we have, and it'll go out right to the console.